today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, except, well, we did it last month, so we're going to do it again this month. We're going to talk about Kickstarters. So Miranda got a little friendly with the Kickstarter button the other day.
Yeah, I can't believe you're ordering so many Kickstarters.
I know. Rob, was, oh, you're just as bad as Randy. Okay, to prove this, Randy, how many Kickstarters have you successfully backed?
What, in my lifetime?
No, on the little thing.
Yeah, I know. That's my lifetime.
No, okay. But it's just Kickstarters. It is not GameFound. How many?
Okay, so the Kickstarters predate you, right? For me. So just to let you know.
Okay.
So qualifying that.
Same thing. Same thing.
It was 188.
Okay. Mine is at 40. And half of those are STL files. Which take up no space. And some video games, which again, take no space except for some room on your computer. Okay? And half of the computer games they didn't even make, we got nothing for them. So, wasted my money. It's really kind of sad.
I got most all of my stuff. Oh, except for a couple
I have gotten
really high-priced ones I didn't get. So
no, I've gotten every STL file that I've done. And then I've also gotten... Nope, I can't say I've gotten any of the video games that I have backed. No, I did get one. I haven't even played it yet. Because I can't figure it out. I've messaged them to try to figure out how to get the login, and it's a mess. Okay, so I give up. But I did get a little friendly with the Kickstarter button. And so I'm excited to talk about the 4 that I backed without even talking to Randy. I just ended up backing him. So the first one I'm going to talk about, it expires tomorrow, guys, and I'm so excited. It is going to get funded. It is called Union Stockguards. So listen to the key features, and we should understand why I like this. Supply and demand-driven market that is central to gameplay. I love games with that mechanic. Low randomness. This is my cup of tea, right? And then worker placement. Again, one of my favorite things. And then exclusive research historical theme. That's a side-on bonus. So when I saw those key features, I was like, low randomness, worker placement, yes, please. The theme is Union Stockguards. That's the name of the game. So I'm kind of excited to see how that ends up playing out. So tell me one that you currently got going on that's backed.
Similar state. One I backed just recently, kind of as a replacement because the one I backed, Sare, got canceled.
It's so sad.
Yeah, today, actually. So I went out to take a look and kind of grieve the loss of that game. And, of course, I had to replace it. So I found Tendaya, which is ending today in a few hours, I believe. So by the time this video posts, it'll already be over. But it's by Red Mojo Games, and the pieces looked amazing. And it says, a theme-driven survival adventure with the soul of a Euro game. And it looks like you have your own personal board where you choose your actions. And I love personal boards where I get to build my own engine.
Yeah.
So excited about that one.
Yeah. So another one that I got a little trigger happy on is the Bark Avenue. I didn't realize that your sister had already backed it before I even found it. It's about puppies. And it's a competitive dog walking game.
How do you compete walking dogs? Isn't that like everybody wins when you walk a dog? I mean...
Well, my thing is it seems like it's a pickup delivery game, and I'm always down for a good pickup delivery.
What are you picking up, by the way?
You're picking up the dog, and then you got to drop the dog back off, but you got to make sure it walks enough.
I thought you were picking up the dog droppings on the way, and that was, where are you delivering them would have been my next question.
Now, you come on, you're taking away from it. Okay, so, but it's basically, you've got to take the dog, and it has an optimum walking amount, right? Your small dogs can only walk not as much as your big dogs, and your big dogs need more exercise, and so you've got to balance going through the different places to pick up the dogs and drop them back off. So I thought it would be interesting because there's a couple of things going on that you don't typically see in pickup delivery games. A timing mechanism because of how long you can keep the dogs for, but yet at the same time trying to get them back to their locations. So I thought this might be interesting. I'd like to see how it plays out. If dog
food's not included, they need an expansion for that because that would be amazing.
Now you're just being a butt. So listen, I was kind of excited. It's puppies. I like puppies. So So that one I was excited for. So what do you got up next?
Well, we know everybody knows this one because they watched our videos. 44 BCE. Super excited. I was excited before we got the opportunity to meet the creators of it, and when I was like, when we got to actually talk with them, I just stoked that fire even more. So I'm super excited. We get to try it at Origins. We're going to be heading up there tomorrow to give that a go this weekend, and super excited to get to meet them in person, get to play the game, and I'm super excited that we're to get it whenever it eventually comes out, and it's still live. It'll be live through most of June.
Yeah. So now the reason why I was on Kickstarter anyway was because one of my favorite video games is Crossroad Ends. Now, I randomly discovered this on Steam, played it, and I was like, this actually has a good story. This is actually really cool. So I ended up falling in love with the game, and I played quite a bit. And so they had produced a board game, and they originally put it on GameFound. Well, it didn't end up going through. Sad. But they ended up redoing it on Kickstarter because they were afraid they weren't getting enough traction on GameFound. So they ended up going to Kickstarter. Luckily, it is set to go through. Everything's good. So that's the whole reason why I went on Kickstarter and found all these games, was because I got an email from GameFound saying, hey, we're on Kickstarter, come find us. So that's why I love the fact of owning an inn. There's a couple of good end games that we have, but I'd like to see what this adds to it.
I think it's funny because when you back things, it's like a spurt. It's like you don't back anything for a good long while, and then suddenly it's like, Miranda back so-and-so game, and Miranda back so-and-so game. And I get like 5 emails in a row from
It's 4. It's 4.
I'm just saying.
3 in one day.
You have nothing for a month or 2, and then you get on there and there's all these emails back to back.
It's because I actually go on Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually because I went on Kickstarter. Or you haven't already backed it. Because when I go, and half the time I'm like, hey, did you see that? Yeah, I've already backed it. Oh, my work is done. I don't have anything to do. So in this particular instance, you didn't have any of these backed. And I was like, well.
That was the case for Sare. I had already backed it when you brought it up. And it's also the case of the next one on my list.
So tell us about the next one on your list.
Actually, the next 2. First in Flight. You just brought it up before this.
Well, because I was on Kickstarter, because I was looking at the ones I've already backed. And then I said, hey, did you check out First in Flight? And he's like, oh, I've already backed that. I'm like, see? I don't have to do it. He's already done it for me.
Because we both like similar types of games in many cases, and this is definitely right up my alley as far as it's got a press your luck, which is a little unusual for you, but it's
I didn't fully get to look at it.
It's the early days of Flight, and so it makes sense to have a press your luck because they didn't know whether it was going to work or not.
Yeah.
And it's about building up your cards to play to get your airplane to get up and be flight worthy. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
You can enhance your plane and upgrade it.
Yeah.
So, it looked pretty cool.
Okay. So, my next one. So, I had just backed. So, here's the thing. So, I backed these 3, and I actually backed a 4th one, and it didn't end up making it it wasn't even close. And because of that, I was on there because I saw it didn't make it, because I was checking on to see if it made it. And I found another game to another video game that I didn't like, and it was RuneScape. Now, the one thing that I was interested about RuneScape, okay, I like character development. I have not got to play a game that I felt did a good character development yet. And RuneScape, one of its founding things was about character development. Like, there was like a gajillion skills, and you just picked one and you grind and you got the abilities. Like, something I absolutely loved. And I would love to see a game that had more character development involved. And so that is my hope for this, for what is it called? It's called RuneScape Kingdom Shadow of Elvenard. So, but they do have, so I was a little nervous because you're going and defeating the dragon, okay, because RuneScape does have a lot of attacking and dragging, but it also has a lot of, like, cooking and sewing and all this other stuff. but they do have a cooking expansion. So I'm literally buying it for the cooking expansion. We're going to see how this goes. Mm-hmm. So I may end up regretting this back because it may not end up being my cup of tea, but it is RuneScape, and I'm hoping that we'll have a really good character development. So what's your last one?
Well,
drum roll.
Should be no surprise here. If Rob were here, he would be presenting this one because we both backed it. This was a no-brainer, instant back.
I know, I'm so sad Rob can't be here.
I know, but it's a no-brainer, instant back, Castles of Burgundy. I mean, it's one of our top games of all of our favorites, and
it is pretty
it's the treatment it finally deserves. It's beautiful. And we're getting the all-in sun-drop version. It's going to look beautiful.
I'm excited to play with Mom.
Super excited.
My mom loves that game.
Yeah, it's actually not badly priced for it because it's going to have like all the possible boards you could ever want.
Yeah.
And they're going to create a version of it for every player so you can all play the same board. And I thought that was super exciting because that's my big grievance when you do variable boards that you could potentially get skewing of who's got an advantage. It takes that out of the equation. Everybody gets the same variable board. And it's got all these upgraded miniatures components. They're releasing new ones every day or every other day as far as what you're going to be getting in it. Super stoked to see what all is going to come in this package. But it's only, I think, $150 for everything. And that's not a bad price at all.
No, it's not. Well, heck, I'm paying that for the RuneScape one, but it does have a lot of miniatures. And I am getting the all-in deluxe, whatever. That is, I think you'll find for us, that's kind of what we get, right? Yeah. The deluxe all-in.
Speaking of deluxe, I got to point out one we're not going to be backing for many reasons, but one of which is the price, and that is the Suro deluxe game that's out.
Okay, that is not why we're not backing it.
I know. I said for many reasons because I knew this was going to allude to this conversation.
Okay, guys. So we haven't reviewed it yet. I would really hate to ruin the review. Okay, but this is...
If you've watched our past Tally review, it touches upon this subject.
Okay, so there's a story. If you want to cut out now, you totally can because we're done with the Kickstarters. But there's a story that I have to tell you. So...
Please share, because this is my favorite story about you.
Okay, so we stopped at Robert's when we were on our way back to something. And we decided that we were going to play a game. And some of his friends were there as well. And everyone's like, oh, Suro, it's a lot of fun. We can play it. Everyone can play it. It's really easy to learn. I'm like, okay. So we play Suro. Not that impressed with it. Whatever. We get home. I go to bed. And I have a freaking nightmare that I'm on this path that will never end. And it was horrible. Like, it was literally the game.
Well, if your path doesn't end, you're actually winning. You're actually doing well.
Except it never ended. I could not. It was a freaking nightmare. Because it was just like the art. I was on the path. And ever since then, I said I will never play that game for whatever reason. It gives me nightmares.
Well, they have an all-in deluxe version of this game. It looks beautiful, but it's $400 for the game, plus shipping of like $75. And yeah, it's nice, but I'm getting a $150 version of Castles of Burgundy that's also very nice. We'll play that one, first of all, because you won't be hiding in fear of lines on Castles of Burgundy. But it's $150 versus $400.
Now, I will say, though, this fear of lines, it's actually the fear of probably repetitiveness, because half of the nightmares that I have, it's all about repeating the same action over and over again. Like, I had a nightmare about, because I used to work at CC's Pizza, about having to put the pizza back together and put the thing on. It's something they train you to do.
To make it out of cardboard. That's the fear of CC's Pizza.
No. But it's because I was in charge of the buffet and I had to move the pizza and put the thing on the thing where you could reach it. Anyway, I just never could because people kept coming and ruin it. And then, I have a bunch of different nightmares about repetitiveness. And I guess that game was so freaking repetitive.
She has fears of common items around your house. That's...
No! But anyway, your people make things like I'm like high. Well, I am. Okay, so, but yeah, so that's the thing about me. And I did not appreciate that game. I will never play it again. That nightmare was really bad and it was really
now
scary.
I'm tempted to buy the 400 version because of this story.
No! It will just sit there.
Well, that's the thing. It would look beautiful on your table.
It would never get
every time you would walk in, you would see that and have that fear recur.
I'm not sure he loves me, guys.
I do love her. I just like torturing her because it's fun.
No, it's not. It's not. You should love me and cuddle me. Anyway, so is there any other ones that we are definitely not backing?
Everything else that's not mentioned on Kickstarter that's currently active, we're not backing.
No. I meant ones that we thought about that we just decided not to.
No, I mean, sir, I thought about it if the price was right, but I knew it wasn't going to be. Whenever they showed it before they released the price and everything on Kickstarter, they had it up on one of the Facebook forums, and I'm like, oh, this looks beautiful, but I guarantee the price isn't going to be right.
Yeah, I mean, but the ones. So I was looking on Kickstarter because, well, obviously I backed way too many, and there wasn't any that I didn't even. No, it wasn't even worth looking at to me because I just literally scrolled by.
There's always the miniatures-based games, which we don't play a lot of. So I mean, occasionally I'll pick one up if it sounds interesting.
Right, because I keep seeing Ark everywhere.
Yeah,
and I didn't even. I glanced at it, and honestly, the picture of it is not appealing. It just seemed kind of basic. You didn't get to see much, so I didn't even open it. Did you even get to look at it further?
I looked at it. I opened it up, but again, it was not. I knew it wasn't something we would probably play very much, and we're running low on space for storage. So any of those type of games, I just don't go for. There's a miniature game that had some beautiful miniatures in it where they had two-tone, the miniature was the standard miniature, but it had a see-through plastic borders around everything, and it looked really cool. But that's all it was to it for me. It wasn't I don't play miniatures games, so it'd be just getting them so I could say, oh, that's a cool looking miniature.
Oh, well, see, that's no fun. That's no fun. I mean, well, RuneScape will be a miniature game, I will say that, but
yeah.
I'm hoping it will have good character development. I'll probably end up selling it if we don't end up liking it. Which Randy will die a little bit inside when I do. But it'll be my game and I can do it.
That's fine. I don't let you buy stuff that I know will like.
Well, that, and it's my way to torture you. If you bring that Zero game, I'll start selling all my games. And you will slowly perish. Tit for tat, my friend, tit for tat. No, so yeah, I'm super excited about this month's Kickstarter. I'm excited to see what else is coming. So we have a few Kickstarters coming in.
Yeah.
The Singing Monster one. It's supposed to be shipping out hopefully this month, if I read it right. What are some of the ones that you've got coming in?
Well, it's not a Kickstarter, but we had a pre-order for Gutenberg that just shipped. So when we got it the other day, we haven't played it yet here. We played it on the cruise. So we'll be playing it again and getting our review of that. So a few I know are coming that are in the wings. Hippocrates and Stroganoff, which those two I've been super excited about. I'm not really happy with the company because they released the retail version 6 months ago. It's been on the retail shelves, but our Kickstarter versions have been in various stages of shipping.
Why do they do that? That's so frustrating.
It gets very frustrating when you're one of the first people to back it and you pay a premium to do it and then they ship it. And there's not that much difference between the retail and the Kickstarter in some of the cases, and particularly with, I don't remember, I think it was Stroganoff, I believe. One of them, the pieces were not up to the caliber that they had touted in the Kickstarter. So they're going to make good on it by releasing them as part of the Oak Kickstarter. They're going to give you the pieces that in an upgraded form. So they're making good on it. But when you wait all that time and the copy you get is basically the same as the retail copy, it's...
Why not just give us the retail copy and then make
it's kind of disappointing. But anyway, they should be here soon. Monsters on Board and Age of Atlantis are also en route. And as I found out today, one I didn't remember backing, Cult of the Deep, is coming. So I had it on my list to check out at Origins. Now I scratched that off because it's on its way.
That's so funny. But I think I'll be excited to see what new ones pop up this month. See if there's any that you backed. I literally shouldn't back any. People got to keep me off of Kickstarter, okay? or at least let you go first so that I have less to end up purchasing. But yeah, we'll see what comes out.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, and Marvel United X-Men I've got coming as well, which I didn't really care for Marvel United, but it's X-Men. I backed part of it. I didn't back it all in. I didn't go all in on this one. It was hard not to because they put my favorite characters into every individual box, so I don't get all my favorite characters. I didn't get Archangel. I'm sad about that. But I got Havoc, and I got Longshot, and I got Gambit, I believe. I think I get Gambit. So most of my favorites I got.
Well, guys, we're going to let you go. We've taken enough of your time, I guess. No, but we had fun talking about Kickstarters. Tell me what Kickstarters you're looking forward to. Which ones have you backed? Let's get a trend. Let's get it going. See what different people backed. That way we know what to play pretty quickly. Hopefully we'll give you some tips as we play them. All right, we'll catch you guys later.
Bye.